Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Ooh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I wanna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Corsicana, Texas. What's up, Dallas Fort Worth? What's up, Houston, Texas? Welcome back to another episode of the Burning Coals Podcast. We are your show hosts. I go by the name of Mr. Know It All Reactions. On the side of me by the top, on the logo, give it up for B-Dub, Bougie Weirdo. Give it up. Right up on the Bougie Weirdo, we got one of the beautiful, the lovely, talented B-Love. Get up for B-Love. Coming in, the man, the myth, the legend. Give it up for gentleman Jamal. Give it up. And the first lady of the Brandon Coles podcast. Give it up for educated queen. Give it up. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome to the show. We go by the Brandon Coles podcast. Here's what we have: fire interviews. We have hot topics, burning questions, serious conversation, and we say what needs to be said on this show, so we don't hold back nothing. All right, we just don't do it. Okay, so listen, we do have a comment section. All right, so if you want to come on to the show, you want to put your comment on the show, we will definitely, you can put it in the comment section and we will definitely read your comments. And if you want to be able to come on to the show, we do have two streaming platforms that's available. We have a top one for the YouTube, and we also have a Facebook streaming platform as well. So if you want to come on to the show, fire off your questions, give your shout outs. If you want to say, hey, Mr. Know-It-All, man, I like that Cassius Clay shirt you got going on, man. It's fire. Listen, we accept everything. All right. Now, if you want to come and try to diss one of us, like, look, listen, we don't play that either. So we definitely shoot from the hip, and we're gonna give it to you because we know how to take it, but you got to know how to take it as well, especially if you dish it out. All right. So now that we got all that out the way, now the smoke is cleared and the dust is settled. Ladies and gentlemen, B-Dub, B-Love, G-Man, and EQ, whenever you guys come on to the show, man, how you guys feeling on this Tuesday night? This Tuesday evening, Tuesday night here in Texas, the DFW and Houston, Texas area. B-Dub.
Well, ladies first.
B-Love, go ahead, B-Love. How you feeling over there?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Okay, you're doing great. All right. B-Dub, how you feeling over there, my friend?
Man, I'm feeling good. I got me a little buddy. There's a hawk to be kind of hanging around the house, so I don't have to toss them squirrels over the fence no more when I shoot them. I just leave my dead. He come scoop them.
Oh, is that right?
Don't tell Peter I said that.
Right. Oh man, boy. Oh man, you're gonna have them trying to research you and Google you, and man, they had them post your front door, man. You can't do that. So B-Dub, B-Love, before we kick it off with man, I wanna give a shout out. And I hate to say this because I'm a Cowboys fan, all right. But listen, I can't knock my boy Jalen Hurts. He got the bag, man. And I love the fact not only did he get the bag, but his agent was a sister, man. So let me give a round of applause for that, man. So Hurts make that brother one of the highest paid NFL football players out there.
And not only that, let me piggyback on what you just said. His whole team is females.
Yeah.
So I'm pro woman first. So yeah, a whole team of females.
Right. And you know what? Like I said, man, that's sweet, man. And like I said, they all sisters, man. So bravo to Jalen Hurts, man. You know what? I'm all for the players getting the bag because the owners, they try to find every way not to play these dudes, not to pay them. And when you have somebody that actually, like Jalen, he came in like, his story, what happened in college to where, Alabama, they took him out of a very, very important game, which I thought they were wrong for pulling that move, but they ended up winning that game. But then he left Alabama, went to Oklahoma. He had to pick up the pieces there, and he was actually able to do that. Then he come into the NFL, and now they're trying to say, well, you're not good enough to be a QB. maybe you need to be a wide receiver, a tight end, or whatever. You know how they do to a lot of black quarterbacks out there in the league, whatever. They try to make you to something they don't want you to run the team. You see what I'm saying? Because when you are the quarterback, that's the highest paid position on the field. I mean, on the team or whatever, and you got a lot of responsibilities. And so, they tried everything with him, whatever, man. But the guy, he endured through all that. He fought and got paid. So I can't knock that at all. B-Dub, what you think about that, my friend?
Yeah, hats off, congratulations to the young man. The thing about it for me though is, unfortunately, this is going to put more. It's going to be more of a problem for Lamar Jackson, and I think Lamar Jackson should have went the Jalen Hurts route. He should have got an agent, but he should have got a melanated agent, a brother, sister, whatever.
Yeah,
we had this conversation before, right? And see, when he came into the league, he could be his own agent, because when he came in, he was that guy. The money was going to be there regardless, and there's caps on what rookies can make. So he already knew he was going to get the max that he could get as a rookie. So I get it, wanting to be your own agent or have your mom represent you, but Shannon Sharp actually brought up a great point with his negotiations, and part of the reason why they breaking down, because they can only negotiate at certain times, because most of the times these deals get done at the combine. They get done at the owners' meetings where agents are able to be. So you got all the owners there at one time at the owners' meeting. You could pull three of them together and be like, okay, listen, this what y'all doing? Okay, this is what y'all this. You know what I'm saying? And you could figure something out right there on the spot, and then be like, okay, hey, this is what Baltimore talking about, but we got Washington over here offering this and that, and Baltimore said they cool with that. So if you cool, they cool, or whatever. So I think it's gonna make it a little bit tougher for them, because as you pointed out before, they're definitely trying to set an example. They don't want everybody going rogue, because you think about it. DeAndre Hopkins did his own deal. He was his own agent, but he actually got a good deal in Arizona. Who I was just about to say, the name slipped my mind. Player, he was representing himself, but they don't want that to become a habit,
right?
Especially with the type of money that Lamar is asking for. Which also too, I think he probably should have humbled himself a little bit, because yes, he's an MVP. Yes, he has stats and all of that, but he also has been injury prone these last couple of seasons. Now, I don't want to say injury prone. I think it's too early to say injury prone, but he's had a couple of significant injuries this last couple of seasons that hurts your ability to negotiate. Whereas an agent they know the lingo, they know how to kind of get around those kind of things. So I think he probably should have got an agent, preferably a melanated agent. But whatever is going to get you the bag, I feel like, because. Think about it. Jalen Hurts, he got 110 guaranteed with the 69 that he already had still guaranteed. So basically, he got almost $180 million no matter what happens from this point on out. The Ravens was offering Lamar 130 fully guaranteed. Like, that's not that far off. So maybe I can't say what he should have took or didn't take, because you got to bet on yourself. And if he believe if he feel like he worth more, then more power to him. And I definitely hope he get more. But at the same time, I think 130 fully guaranteed, an experienced agent would have been able to kind of just finagle it to come to some middle ground. Like, okay, let's do this. Let's do 220 million. But 140 guaranteed, get that extra 10 million guaranteed, and then maybe throw some incentives on the back end or something to get him closer to where he's comfortable at.
Right.
Because I think a good agent would have prepared him from the get go.
Right.
Because what the Browns did is mess the whole game up. It's like the Browns. The Cleveland Browns is like that person that's playing fantasy football for the first time and don't really know the rules of drafting fantasy football. They take a quarterback in the first round, and You like what's they take a defense in the second round. You like wait what's going on? What are you doing? So that's kind of how Cleveland was by offering Deshaun Watson that contract. So it messed the game up because now you got looking at, and rightfully so, you got Deshaun Watson who had a couple of really good seasons in Houston. With not he had DeAndre Hopkins, but we never really kind of had a solid. We haven't had a running game since Arian Foster, like just a solid running game. But and the O line sucked, but he was still able to produce. Okay, cool, but I won you an MVP. I took you deep in the playoffs. If you do the comparison, Lamar Jackson is right now on paper, just from what they've already accomplished, is a better QB than Deshaun Watson. But he got 220 fully guaranteed, and y'all haggling me over 160. So I understand where he's coming from, but I just think he should have for this second contract. I think he should have went ahead and got an agent, or at least reached out to somebody to get some advice or something. Which I'm assuming he did. Maybe he did. I'm just assuming he didn't, because now he kind of put himself in a spot.
Right. But you see, the NFL, these old crusty owners, man, they don't want they all are in cahoots with each other, man. Because NFL ain't nothing but a big conglomerate anyway. But they all in cahoots with each other. They don't want you to pay, they don't want you to pay over a penny more, because they don't want the market to be reset a whole lot of time, because that starts taking money from their profits. You see what I'm saying? It takes money from them or whatever. So if they can keep these guys, hey man, the Cowboys owner with the Patriots owner, listen, okay, what you talking about reset this market at? Okay, well, you know what? Can you just bring that down just a bit or whatever, because they don't want these guys are tight with this money, man. Tight.
And the thing about it is, realistically, it has to end somewhere.
I agree.
Like unless people gonna start signing 15-year contracts, like it's got to stop somewhere. And personally, I think how I want to, because I'm cool with the money. I'm cool with them getting every penny they can get. If somebody want to give them $500 million, give them $500 million. But personally, I don't think there's a player ever been on the NFL field that's worth $200, $300, $400 million. Outside of Tom Brady, and Tom Brady was the least paid quarterback in the whole 20 years he played. He's never been a top quarterback, but he got all the rings and the records. So if anybody should be making that money, it should have been Tom Brady. But outside of him, I don't think nobody has proven to be worth that amount of money. Patrick Mahomes, okay, yeah, he got him Super Bowl. He's probably the closest.
Yeah.
To actually being in the proximity of being worth $200, $300, $400 million, because for what he's done for that team with all the AFC championships and the Super Bowls, he definitely made that back for them 10 times over. So
right.
Outside of Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, I haven't seen a quarterback or any player in any position that I feel like is worth that kind of money. However, if you're gonna give it to him, I'm happy for him. Hey, get what you can get.
Right. I agree with that. EQ, how are you? EQ, you joining us? What's going on? How
praise
are
the
you?
Lord, praise the Lord, praise
Amen.
the Lord. First Lady is on here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't miss this. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a whole lot going on tonight, but I said let me just dip in real quick. But I'm good. How y'all doing? I'm above ground and not beneath. So how y'all doing?
We doing good. We doing good. We just kind of chatted up just a bit before we get into the content here. So we just kind of chatted up about Jalen Hurts' money or whatever. So, that's all we were doing. So we just kind of chatting it up. That's all. So you hadn't really missed nothing, but we're going to definitely get into it. So, but we thank you guys for joining the Burning Coast podcast. Make sure you guys go and subscribe, hit that like button, hit that show button. We do this every Tuesday, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. But tonight we got a great show for you guys lined up tonight. We're going to be talking about the teacher versus student, the substitute teacher versus student fight that went viral. And I believe the city it was in North Carolina. It was North Carolina. So the North Carolina Police Department is investigating the whole viral fight. So they're going to definitely do their thing, whatever. So let's get ready to talk about it.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Ooh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I wanna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
You see what we talking about? So hey, we titled this one, put some respect on my name. So everybody's been on everybody's been on social media. So if you haven't been sitting up on a rock or anything like that, and you got some social media devices, you got your different apps. There's a fight that transpired online. Well, not say online, whatever, but during the classroom setting between a substitute teacher and a student. And basically, it looks like it's been over a cell phone. That's what started this whole thing. I don't know. It didn't show how everything began, but there was a recording that happened to be record. A student recorded the incident inside the classroom, and there's an argument that ensues. And then after they started arguing, then some words are being exchanged with each other. But we do have the video, so we're gonna roll the video first, and then we're gonna talk more about it. So we're gonna definitely do that. So let me go ahead and get this started. Here we go.
Does not apply to everybody else. That's my phone. No, you did not keep nobody else's phone. And you finna give me my shit. Don't touch me. That's on my phone. Don't touch me. Girl, don't touch me. Girl, don't touch me.
Get a t-shirt.
Somebody get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a fucking teacher. Get a teacher. Get a teacher. Somebody get a teacher. I don't give a fuck. Get out. Get a teacher. 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 Y'all just go sit here and watch. Get a teacher. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Get a teacher. Get the
Wow. So B-Dub, EQ, and B-Love, when you get back, and Jim Jamal, when you guys get here, man, I'm just gonna say something, man. It really broke my heart to see that transpire between the student and the teacher. And hold on, B-Love, come back. Yeah, B-Love, you here? You there? Okay, what I was saying, but it broke my heart to see this incident that transpired between the student and the teacher. I be honest with you, both I really believe that over a cell phone, that this should not have happened over a cell phone, because at the end of the day, the student is there to learn at the school. That's what she's supposed to be there to go for, to school, to go get your education. And I really believe that the cell phone situation, you know, okay, if a teacher confiscates your cell phone and take your cell phone from you, just wait until the end of the day, or whatever rules or regulations how the school have what the school have set in place for you to retrieve your cell phone back. Then just go about it that way. I don't believe that the student should have, took it upon herself to go and confront or try to be aggressive toward this woman to get her cell phone back. Because at the end of the day, that cell phone, it shouldn't have went to the extreme that is done with, the argument ensuing and the fight and so on and so forth or whatever. I just did it, like I said, it just hurt my heart, it hurt my feeling to see, our students, and the adult get into fisticuffs like that. So B-Dub, E-Love, EQ, B-Love, how you guys feel about the situation here that transpired?
It's sickening to watch, to be totally honest with you. It's embarrassing, it's unprofessional, it's all of the adjectives we want to give it. Teacher, substitute, let me talk about her. Honey, you don't get into no fist fight with no kid behind no cell phone. Give it to her, write her up, go on about your day. Yes, you have every right to defend yourself. These kids, I work in the school, I'm a teacher. I've seen stuff like this happen. But at the end of the day, honey, it's not worth you fighting a kid over a cell phone. There are steps, there's policies and procedures in place to diffuse situations like this. So you keep your job, you write her up, you put it on the administration at that point. Because now it takes the matters out of your hand and places it into theirs. You make a phone call to the parents if you have access to that information as a sub. She's a sub. So, I'm gonna put the blame on the district because you need to make sure all subs are knowledgeable of what policies, plans, procedures in place. That classroom teacher that you're subbing for should have left some type of discipline policy or procedure in place so that that sub knows, hey, in the event I have a situation like this is what I do. Me being being in this profession 16 years, hey, I'm gonna give the student the phone, I'm gonna write them up, go call that parent, and place it into the hands of the administration and just give my statement and go on. Student, no, ma'am, you have no right to hit an adult. Parents, here's the deal. Every school district at the beginning of the school year give you a student handbook. Part of that student handbook is the cell phone policy and procedures. And every school reserved the right to take up a cell phone if a student is being disruptive, disrespectful, filming teachers, all that. It's there. We don't read that stuff because we think it's just junk that we don't need. You should go over these things with your children so that, hey, they know if they're caught on their cell phone and it's not a part of the instruction, your phone can be confiscated. It's in those handbooks. But I do think this sub went overboard and jumping on this little girl, you know, and it's sad because the kid sat there and watched it, didn't try to scream or go get no help. It's just a sad situation all around. And, because it makes the profession look bad in this is what we deal with. This is one of many issues that we have in schools. And because school districts' hands are tied, regarding discipline, it's only going to get worse. So this is why we need to be having those conversations with our children and have conversation even as adults to say what is acceptable and what is not acceptable classroom and professional behavior.
Right. But here's the thing, though. I don't think that the teacher, like, to me, the teacher, I think she's more getting ready to protect herself because she's feel disrespect. I don't think she really give a damn about the cell phone. I think it's more like, hey, look, this little girl, now you don't stepped into my place. You being disrespectful. Now you in my privacy box here. You being disrespectful. And I believe on the little girl's end that, she's, because anytime you do this in front of the students, it just don't go back. It just don't go right at all, period. Because once a student, from my experience, inside of a classroom setting, once the student has a audience in front of them, they not backing down, and it's going. I've seen it get really, really ugly because these students, you're not going to sit there and embarrass a student in front of their peers. It's just not going to happen. So, from my experience, with dealing with a situation like this, if the woman really wanted to get this little girl calmed down to the point to where she can actually kind of talk with her, you got to remove the distraction. You got to remove the audience out of the classroom setting. And once that little girl is there, one on one, a whole lot of this, most of the time, that's how you neutralize the aggression that the student have or whatever, because now she don't have an audience to do that in front of or whatever. You see what I'm saying? She don't have an audience. You can't embarrass her. Now now you don't have the chance of nobody recording you and saying you did XYZ. No, none of that. All this stuff come out to play, whatever. But I'm looking at it from both parts, but I'm still leaning on the fact that the student was in the wrong for the whole cell phone thing, whatever, because that was way not.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Know-it-all.
Go ahead, B-Dub.
Let me explain something to you. There's a thing called emotional intelligence, and you giving that substitute teacher way too much credit for having emotional intelligence, right? Because first of all, look at the video. We had to edit and cover up certain parts of the video. Why?
Right. Yeah.
Because as soon as she bent over and was on top of that little girl, her whole entire was out, and you can't even determine whether or not she even had underwear on. She either had on a thong or no underwear at all, because she definitely wasn't covering nothing. So that right there tells me if you go into a classroom dressed like that with a skirt on that short, that tells me right there you don't have the emotional intelligence to be in that school. That's number one. But I said it before. I said it on this show before. This is the problem with the districts pushing out all of the older teachers and bringing in all these young teachers because you want to bring in the youth. Okay, I get that. I understand it. But what's happening is these people are trying to be cool with the kids. So they have that childish mentality. Because first of all, that woman is way bigger than that child. And the little girl didn't, to me, I don't know, I could be wrong. It didn't look like she actually touched her initially when the teacher said, "Don't touch me." And you see how she's, "Don't touch me, don't touch me." And she's moving toward the little girl talking about, "Don't touch me." Well, why don't you step back then? Instead of leaning forward talking about "don't touch me," and then, okay, now the little girl did take a swing at her. That's on her. I think teachers should be allowed to defend themselves, but just like we talk about with the police, the same thing with teachers. You're supposed to progress. Like you're supposed to start with the minimum and then progress as necessary. She could have grabbed that little girl arm and pushed her away and told her, go to the office. But when that little girl swung, she immediately pounced on her with her whole big self, looking like she just came from the club.
I just put some cutty in.
Out of line. The teacher is completely out of line. Yes, the child was wrong, and her parents should hopefully deal with her and use this as an example. But no, if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 25% the student's fault, 75% the teacher's fault, because she's the adult. She's supposed to be the professional, and she could have handled that situation. She could have handled the little girl without that much excessive force. It wasn't necessary.
Man, B-Dub, here's the thing that I had to disagree with you on that, B-Dub.
I disagree with you too.
Go ahead, G-Man.
I disagree. Have you seen some of these kids?
Man,
and that little girl was
listen.
Hold on, that little girl was behind the teacher desk. So why was she even back there behind the teacher desk?
Right.
She provoked that teacher. I'm sorry.
Right.
I understand. But
that little girl was wrong. That little girl was wrong.
No, but we've seen students that were way worse. Like I seen a video earlier today where a student knocked the teacher out cold out. I'm talking about one hit or quitter. This little girl in this, I'm just talking about this situation right here.
That's even more reason why these teachers don't need to take no ass whoopings from no goddamn kids. I'm sorry,
but that's what I'm saying.
Ain't no amount of money in this world you can pay me to take no ass whooping.
But that's my point.
I'm with you, G-Man.
But that's my point. She has the right to defend herself. I'm not saying she should have took an ass whooping, but my point is, in this particular situation, she went from 0 to 100.
Well,
when that little girl, she could have easily handled that little girl without going straight to slamming her on the ground, cussing, talking about I don't give a F.
How about the child stay in the child's place? And
I agree.
No. I agree. We in agreement on that.
Because some of these teachers are straight out the hood, okay?
Right.
Or not. I'm sorry. There is no amount of professionalism to take no ass whooping from nobody. You understand me? Nobody gonna whoop my ass because you're gonna go viral either way at this point. Either I'm gonna go viral for getting my ass whooped by a student, or I'm gonna go viral for whooping your ass. I'll take the latter.
I said the same. Hey, G-Man, I said the same thing too, man.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing, but in this situation right here, I'm talking about this video we just watched. That lady could have handled that little girl without that much aggression. It was excessive to me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I stand on that. It was
all bets off. Once you swing at me, I don't care if you miss or not. You swung, you missed. That's your fault. I'm gonna tax you.
Because now,
I'm gonna
but hear me out though. And now you creating a whole different situation because if the little girl,
the situation.
No, listen. The little girl went behind the desk, right? She shouldn't have done that.
On the teacher.
She shouldn't have done. She shouldn't have went behind the desk. She tried to grab the phone. The teacher said, "Don't touch me." The little girl took a swing at her. We all in agreement right here that the little girl is wrong.
Right.
And
Right.
my point is, I think this is where her responsibility stops and the teacher's responsibility begins, right? Because even if she grab her and restrain her and physically move her out of the room, get out of my classroom, go to the office, boom, close the door. What can that little girl parent say about that? That child is wrong. She wrong. What can they say? But for what she did to that little girl, now her mama, her daddy, her auntie, whoever got every right in the world to come beat that woman's ass.
No.
That was
No.
excessive. It was excessive and unnecessary.
Well, let me
B-Dub.
say this.
Nah, B-Dub. Nah, B-Dub. Nah. Go ahead, B-Love.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give y'all the hood me, and I'm gonna give y'all the professional me. Now, the professional me, what I would have done when I seen that because this is my thing, and this is what I hate about videos, recordings, because you never get the very beginning. You get right in the middle of the sandwich.
Right.
So what took place first of all, why was her phone taken out of everybody else's phone? Because obviously something had to be going on to where she had to get her phone and her phone taken only because somebody was recording in the classroom. So obviously it wasn't a no cell phone policy. Obviously this little girl had to be being disrespectful before that point even came. So, and then for the recording to start with this little girl behind the desk tells me another thing, that you don't have no control. Because see, it wasn't about the teacher and the kid being disrespectful. This was all about a control situation. Everybody wanted to control what was gonna happen with this cell phone. And that's why I say the teacher was unprofessional, because she couldn't control herself up to a certain point. Now, for this little girl to be behind this teacher desk, telling this teacher what she gonna do, how she gonna do it, and when she gonna do it, was an issue for me. At that point, I felt, before this little girl walked up to your desk, you should have already been on the other side of that desk to go get somebody else. Because obviously this is already getting out of hand, because I don't have to take your phone and nobody else's phone. First off. Second of all, when you come and I'm telling you, get away from me, and because everybody's issue is, oh, she hit the little girl first, she shoved the little girl. Well, the little girl was in her space. You in my space. And you already know when somebody is in your space, male, female, black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter who it is. When you're in my space, then I already feel threatened. So I already have an opportunity to find some type of way to get you off of me. But when you swing at me, because see, the little girl didn't, my thing is, the little girl didn't, that wasn't no one swing and I'm going to be done. That was a swing like, oh, it's on now, because you don't push me, not knowing that she should have got me off of her. The little girl thinking she right because the teacher shoved her first. But what you have to understand, you were in her space. Now she don't kind of shoved you out of her way, telling you to move. And now you don't swung on the lady. Now this is where the ghetto me come in at. As the parent, I'm whoop your ass. Even though I'm whoop both y'all ass. Because first of all, if a teacher take your phone, as a parent, I'm talking to my child. If a teacher take your phone out of everybody else's, then that tells me a lot. First of all, ma'am. Second of all, you ain't got no business disrespecting nobody. Phone, pencil, paper, it don't matter. Sit down, because you shouldn't even be up there for no phone. I shouldn't be getting a phone call about no phone, and I damn sure shouldn't be getting no video about no phone, because you didn't go to school to talk on the phone. You went to school to learn. Second of all, the teacher, I'm gonna whoop your ass because you didn't have no business whooping my daughter ass like that. I'm sorry. That was too many licks. That was too many licks.
Man.
Way too many licks.
No.
The way, and I say this because At the end, you realize what you were doing, and then that's when you went to restrain her, hold her head down. Once you got that little girl on the ground, you could have restrained her like that. You had control. You were on top. The same way you controlled yourself at the end when you fought her, is that when you were fighting her, is the same way you could have controlled yourself at the end. That's the only thing that pissed me off. That was hurtful to me, because you literally sit here and whoop this little girl like she was a full-grown woman. Not saying that she didn't deserve it, but at the end of the day, have some type of control, man.
Woman, she got her ass whooped.
She acted like a full-grown woman, and I'm gonna give you both sides of it, because like I said, as a parent, that would be the thing that pissed me off about her. That would be her only action.
Exactly.
That pissed me off about her. Other than that, the fact that you had to restrain her and whoop her ass a little bit, I'm cool with that. But that was excessive to me. That was excessive to me.
100%. As a parent, like if you had to get physical with her, I understand that, because like I said, the little girl is the cause of this situation. No matter how you look at it.
Start to finish.
The teacher had to take her phone, which means, again, like to B-Love's point, you was doing something that nobody else was doing, that you got the teacher's attention and she took your phone. Now, once she took it, that's the school policy. If you're being distracted, she can take your phone. Sit your butt down, wait till class is over, get your phone back. Okay, the little girl decided to get up. She want to go try to get the phone back from the teacher. So if the teacher had to get physical with her to get her out of the classroom or to restrain her, as a parent, I'm totally okay with that. I'm looking at my child like, no, this is on you. But when she hit that little girl and slammed her to the ground, started beating on her like that, no, now you got to see me. Now you got to see you done crossed the line.
Yeah,
but, my daughter still gonna get her punishment though.
Get your ass whooped.
And that's the thing. And
your goddamn kid.
Listen, man.
But let me tell you this, G man. I promise you, with me seeing that, and if that was my child, I wasn't gonna get my ass whooped. Period, point blank. It's a lot of things that you can do. And again, I don't have no problem with you restraining her, because she was totally out of hand. That little girl was totally out of hand. But what I feel like
you swung at me.
But did you see that swing? Did you see that
that swing was weak.
That little girl still swinging. She still ain't
your mama and your daddy come up here, and I'm gonna beat their ass too. You control your kid.
Well,
your kid shouldn't be in my face swinging at.
And you know what them people gonna tell you? You know what them people gonna tell you? They gonna tell you you need to control yourself.
So I have a question.
If you can't, my thing is, you should.
If you controlled your kid, I wouldn't have to beat the shit out of your motherfucking kid.
And I'm not saying that you were wrong for hitting her. I'm not saying that you were wrong for defending yourself. I'm
here to teach your kid. I don't have to be sitting up here fighting with your damn kid because your kid is out of line.
But you shouldn't have to. But you already knew what you already knew what it was when you walked up in this school. You already knew. You already know how today's children are. You might have to come in here and fight every day.
No, I can't.
So learn to control yourself. It's called self-control.
What's your question?
It's not called. I'm gonna come to the school and I'm gonna whoop every kid ass that's standing in my way. Because if that's the case, you need to be at home.
Your kid come to school talking about ain't no adult gonna tell me what to do. Well, you homeschool your kid.
Well, then, if that's the case, and you can't control yourself in a manner, if a kid comes to school in your classroom and say that, then you probably need to find another school to sub at, because that school not for you.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
And you would be the stupid teacher. You would be the stupid teacher if you walked up in a class and a kid said that. Then you should know that's like you going in a grocery store and somebody saying, that's like you going in a grocery store and somebody saying, oh, they shoot over here at this grocery store out of Crenshaw, and you keep taking your ass in the store. Who fault is that? That's yours, because you don't have no control to get up and move, go to another store.
Nope.
That's private school and public school. Make it your choice, because you already know how public school get down. So if you chose to come there, then you should know to have self-control while you're there. Period, point blank. I don't give a damn who it is.
I came to teach. I didn't come to get sworn gone.
Well, if you came to teach, then go to a private school. Don't come to a public school because you already know how public school is getting down. You already know how public school is getting down.
Wait a minute.
I want to hear the question.
Yeah, let's get to that. Jeez Louise.
Hell, I don't forgot my question.
I don't even want to ask the question no more.
I look again. I don't even want to know. No,
Hey,
but here's the deal.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
we've had, this is not the first incident like this, okay? But what about those teachers who haven't fought back? Are they wrong? Because here's what y'all don't understand, okay? This is where we going. It happens in private schools. It happens in home schools. It happens in charter schools. This is the nature of the generation we are raising, period. Because there is no respect being taught. There is no authority. Kids, a lot of kids, okay, 5th and 6th graders fighting teachers because you know you ain't supposed to have your phone. Okay, we can argue this all night and all day. Yeah, the sub went overboard. Like I said, I've been in a situation with a cell phone like this. Me, I'm gonna give you your phone because I ain't gonna let you take me there. Because you're not worth me losing everything I've worked hard for. But y'all, we are our teachers. Mind you, she's a sub. Where's the teacher? Is the teacher out because she tired of dealing with her kids and she needed some time off? See, y'all, we having them now. We kind of having a scrape just to get people to come in and fill in for teachers because a lot of these teachers are burned out. So what's going to happen when you ain't got nobody in there teaching your son or daughter? And kids like this one in this video, these are the kids who typically cannot read, cannot write, and are a disruption and not in every class. But the thing of it is, we don't know what led up to this. How many days have this sub been there? What incidents occurred for the sub to take only her phone? See, we don't know all the details and facets. This is a high school student. Some of these kids are just as big as you are. And, you know, and here's the deal. They're going to go out in society thinking that they can just buck up to anybody and do anything they want to do. There's a reason why we have rules so that society doesn't break down. So you can't tell your kid it's okay to sit up here and put yourself in a grown person's place and then you get whooped and now you want to cry victim. It doesn't work like that. And then the thing is, I say this, I agree with you, but I also, from another perspective, it goes back to what I was saying. You already know that these kids are disrespectful. You already know that this is something that you want to do. Not fulfill my passion because
this is the thing. This is the thing. I didn't say don't fulfill your, but I did not say don't fulfill your passion. I said have self-control. I didn't say that I see anything wrong with what that lady did. The only issue that I had with that lady is how excessive she was.
She went overboard.
Hold on.
That's the issue that I had.
Hold on. But how can you say, because that in that woman's mind, that may have been self-control for her. You see what I'm saying?
She's a sub.
For her to actually have to put hands on a woman, and then when she got the little girl, she really could have did the little girl even dirtier. You know, if you really
could have,
you could have did the little girl dirty, but she got off of whatever because she knew at the time.
That's what I'm saying. At the time, it clicked.
The little girl was neutralized. She was no longer a threat because she put all the weight on the little girl.
But you saying she could have did her dirtier? That's like stabbing somebody 5 times and say, "Well, I could have stabbed you 7 times."
I could have.
I'm using the word dirty because you guys said she was done dirty.
She was still fighting on the ground.
She really could have gotten in that girl's grill when she had her on the ground pinned down with her, but she backed off. She backed off. Go ahead.
But listen, so first of all, okay, let me say this. So I want to stay focused on this video. Now we talking about
we'll do that.
Yes, we've seen a slew of videos where there's been kids that deserve that type of beat down, and the teacher didn't even give it to them. I'm not telling nobody to be no dummy and get your ass beat by no student. But what I'm saying is, as an adult and as a person of authority, you're supposed to be able to manage that situation and escalate as needed, not jump from 0 to 100. But this is the thing to listen to though. So she took the little girl phone. How did she take her phone too? That's the thing, because from the way the little girl's acting, we don't know this. Let me just say I'm speculating. We don't know, but from the way the little girl is acting, it don't seem like she gave up her phone willingly. So I'm thinking that the teacher might have snatched the phone out of her hand or something, whatever. But like EQ was saying, you asked for the phone, like, hey, no, you got your phone now, give me your phone. If the girl won't bring the phone, okay, go to the office. There's procedures for that.
But you don't have to do that though. But you don't have to do that.
This woman seemed like she had a edge. She seemed like she just wanted to whoop somebody's ass because I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just seeing it different. But
we all are. That's fine though.
The little girl. Listen, I'm not taking accountability away from the little girl. She's definitely 100% wrong for approaching the teacher and going behind the desk.
There you go.
She wrong.
But still. The way that lady handled that, it seemed like she was on edge and just looking to
your ass down and learn.
And again, I feel like all of that was both of them got control issues. Period. Point blank.
There you go.
And me, I just feel like as a person that thinks, if you know what, because there's no way that nobody in their profession, whether you're a counselor, a PE teacher, art teacher, music teacher, math teacher, there's no way you don't know how these kids get down at a particular school. Come on now. We know that.
If everybody thought that, there would be no
I won't even say that.
Hold on. But my thing is, if you feel like, and back to what Pamisha said, and now take what I just said and then go to what Pamisha said earlier when she first come in. If you already know how these kids get down, that teacher really should have called another teacher then and said, hey, I feel like I'm gonna have a problem. Get her removed from the classroom.
Like,
it was enough time. It was enough time for that.
Demeanor though. Like, listen to this lady's whole demeanor. Get a effing teacher. I don't give a F. Like her whole attitude, she was ready to pop out.
So that's self-control.
No. Let me tell you, because that woman, listen, no disrespect. Y'all know I come from a family of educators, got plenty of educators in my family. I respect the profession wholeheartely. But some of these teachers today are trash. And we have to admit that.
I agree with you.
This lady right here is trash.
G-Man, don't get dealt with, because I will get you.
Some of y'all kids are trash. Kids are trash because some of y'all parents are trash.
Yes.
Facts. 100%. We said that plenty of times. But my point is, this lady here, and this is just from my perspective, this woman seemed like she just came straight from the club. The way she dresses inappropriate. First of all, and then she just seemed like she just had something on her because the little girl didn't even touch her initially. When she said don't touch, the little girl was trying to go around and see where the phone was at, and she moved toward the little girl talking about, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And just like you said, Mr. Know-It-All, you know how these kids are nowadays. You can't put me on the spot. Mm-hmm. Hey, you got adults like that nowadays, that this childish like that. If something happened and it's a crowd around, and now you done said something to me and people watching now I can't back down. So, and I'm not excusing the little girl. Let me say that again. I'm not excusing the little girl's behavior. I think she was deserved to get dealt with. I think the teacher was excessive. No, that teacher beat that little girl for no reason.
If you listen to the sub, y'all, she sounded like something was wrong with her.
That's what I'm saying. She
was aggravated. She was aggravated. And that's my thing. That's like whooping a kid when you mad at them. Who does that? How effective is that gonna be? That's and you know what? You know what? Do you know what? Do you?
Let me.
But you know what type of attitude this little girl gonna have now? That I can go around and whoop a teacher.
Now, when she get out of high school, Johnny Law gonna deal with it. And they got a place for hard-headed people like her.
Yeah, because the thing is, you absolutely correct. Because if she's at that rate, at that age, mom and daddy already got a problem. Mom and daddy probably can't even control her because there's no way you got control at home and she up there doing what she doing. She shouldn't even been behind that lady desk.
That's
And
the problem
then if
right
you
there.
were and if you were behind that lady, that's you shouldn't have been up on that lady and in her personal space
Right.
like she was.
Okay.
And
Now,
my thing is, like I said, when she was trying to remove her from her personal space by saying, don't touch me, don't push me, I feel like she was still protecting herself. When the little girl swung at her, she did what she needed to do to get her off of her. Now, when she got that little girl on the ground, she had every right to restrain her like she did at the end of the fight. But
Not
to
beat
sit
on
there
her.
and literally beat that little girl ass like that, I got a problem with that. I'm
The
not
problem,
saying that teacher is wrong for putting her on the ground. I'm not saying she wrong for holding her head down. I'm not saying she wrong for sitting on top of her. I'm saying you wrong for the middle, for the
Exactly.
middle of that. Like
And
that
I'll take
was
it.
way too much. I couldn't even watch it. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'll
What
take
the
it a
hell
step
is
further.
going on?
I take it a step further because even when she was saying "Don't push me, don't touch me," I think she was egging the little girl on. I don't even think she was trying to protect her space. I think she was egging the little girl on, wanting
And
to start
again, you know
something.
what? Again, it goes back to what you said or what we both agreed on earlier. That was a control issue because the teacher's trying to control. You got all these kids, you a sub. So you got all of these kids in this classroom. Most likely you probably sub at this school all the time. So if you leave with, oh, she punked Miss such and such and such, every classroom that you go in, you getting punked from here on out. Period, point blank. Now the little girl, on the other hand, oh, she up here, she saying she doing this, blah, 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 or whatever the case may be. So now the little girl got an issue because she known for bullying subs. So it's gonna be consequences for either or, whether you do it or if you don't. But I'd rather do what the teacher did up to a certain extent to let these kids know, shit, you can come across this desk you want to. And you can swing if you want
But
to.
the
And
problem
I'm gonna push
is
your ass down and I'm gonna restrain the shit out of you. Period,
she
point blank.
she didn't have no respect in the first place. Because here's the reality: teachers that get respect, stuff like that don't typically happen. If something like that happened, it's a once in a lifetime, out of
You
the
right.
ordinary type of situation. So the fact that that girl even felt bold enough, again, not condoning it because her parents, there's a deficiency at
You are
home somewhere for
condoning.
her to even think that she
You
could.
are
But my
condoning
point
that
is,
behavior.
if that teacher would have came in and set the standard of respect right off the bat, none of them kids would have been
Hmm.
bold enough to even try that. But
Exactly.
when you come in there looking like they older sister, like you just
They
came
not
from the
respecting
club,
subs like that.
then
Come
who?
on
Why
now.
would they respect you?
because
They
he's an
don't
But
adult.
respect
cause see,
subs
and
like
and
that.
they, and
He's
you
an
know
adult.
Nah,
what?
He's
okay,
a teacher.
You
Like,
you
okay,
you hit the
sure.
He's a
nail.
teacher.
You hit the nail on the head with saying that because when you come in and you dealing with kids, it's your energy is not gonna too much match theirs because your energy, you might have a sitting bitch face. And the kids like, well, shit, I don't know if you know. But if you coming in here, you laughing and you grinning, and you they friends, and you saying this and you saying that, and you looking like they older sister or younger sister or auntie, the kids gonna match your energy. And so that's what I'm saying. What happened
a kid ain't
before?
matching no adult's
What
energy. Stay in the
happened
child's
be
place. Stay in
you
the
may
child's
and you right. And that's the thing. I don't disagree with you at all when you say that. Stay in a child's place. And matter of fact, stay in a child's place on the other side of that desk. Because if you
Right.
come on this side of the desk, I'm gonna do what I need to do to
But
protect me.
Right.
so
But
I'm
Right.
gonna say
for
this
me,
though.
Right.
So we
I'm not
telling the
gonna
little
go as
girl,
far as
hold
she
on.
did.
We
Right.
telling the little girl should have stayed in the little girl's place. We
Right.
agree. We agree on that.
Right. We agree.
But
But
here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a reason we call kids kids and adults adults. Like I said at the beginning of the show,
Exactly.
it's about emotional intelligence. That child did not
Hmm.
stay in the child's place, but sometimes that's what kids do. Adults are never.
Exactly.
An adult person can't get me out of my character.
and
I'm
the
definitely not
adult
gonna let a
call her
child get me
adult
out of
place.
character,
And she got her
especially at
Hmm.
answer
my
to it.
job. This
She
is
got her
how I
answer
pay
to
my bills. You think
This
I'm
is how I
gonna
pay
let
my
you
bills.
take my bill money out of my pocket? No, girl. If you don't get your
Exactly.
butt out here and get to that
it. Hey,
office,
you can take all the money out of my pocket. I ain't taking no ass to it.
and like EQ said,
This
if
part.
if it if it really got that serious till I felt like it was tension, I would have gave the phone back. Okay, fine, take your phone and
Yeah.
get out my damn classroom.
But you don't have to do that though, because
but you do, because you an adult.
you don't have
You're
to,
supposed
though.
to always
But you
be
don't.
the
But
adult.
you don't have to though, because the job. When the teacher, she has the right to take that cell phone up. If she did it, if she do, she can. If she don't, she
Okay,
don't
but
have to.
we talking about right versus reality. Yes, she had the right
Yeah.
to take that cell phone, but the reality is this little girl is clearly showing that she don't have no home training. So now, as an adult, you have to make the decision, because clearly she's not going to do the right thing.
Oh,
So
they made
I'm gonna save my paycheck.
decision
Here,
was to
take
beat
your
my
phone,
ass.
get out of my classroom, and I'll deal with your parents.
And I know, and I'll see you later, because guess what? You might feel like you have won, and your classmates may have feel like you won, but baby, I'm gonna always get the last laugh. I feel like what EQ said was the most professional thing you could have done. Here, baby, here go your phone. Have a seat. I let her continue to do whatever the hell she was doing and ignore the hell out of her. And by the time she got done, she would know, and everybody else in that classroom would know. No, baby, it ain't no shoulda, coulda, wouldas with me, because I know how to handle mine. And I promise you that I would be one sub she would ignore. She wouldn't want to step across.
Somebody else talk. You done nothing. Now what I'm saying is, listen, let
somebody talk with some sense.
See? Anywho,
Go ahead.
Let your kid run up and swing on me. I'm gonna beat your kid's motherfucking ass. And if you want to come up there and get
that's
that,
why I said let somebody talk with some sense, because that don't even make no sense right there. I see you have no self-control.
Common sense.
What you
Common
saying?
sense is let nobody whoop your ass for no reason. And I
Y'all got me over here about to go make a pot of coffee.
Hey, listen, let me go ahead and read some comments in here, whatever. Okay, let me get into the comments. All right, let me do that. Because man, we on fire tonight. Jeez Louise. So we want to say, first of all, thank you guys for joining the Burning Coast podcast and tuning in and watching us. We do this live every Tuesday, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we discuss hot topics like this, and it is definitely a trending viral video, and basically we just giving you guys our take on how we felt about the situation. As you can see, this particular subject here with the video we watch, we all see this thing from a different perspective, but at the same time, we are all, it's all out of love, because we just like to talk to you, talk about it and actually throw some knowledge out there about how we actually see these things, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all love, and we just kind of let you guys know that as well. All right. So Loretta Roach, we will say thank you for joining the show. Loretta Roach sends a hello emoji. Miss Pam Brown, she says, okay, I think that's EQ. Okay. Brittany Simone said, I got something to say, y'all. And Maurice McMillan, stronger phone policies have to go into place. I'm just saying.
I agree.
That ain't gonna. Brittany Simone says, little girl, wrong. When you invade someone's personal space, you don't get to decide how they retaliate.
Call in, Brittany, call in.
You can't determine what's excessive for me. And Brittany, if you are watching the show, definitely call in, because we want to hear what you have to say about that. Hit the you can contact the YouTube platform, streaming platform up there, or the Facebook one. Call in. We'll definitely bring you onto the show, and definitely tell us how you feel about it in person. Because we definitely love to hear your input or how you saw it. Maurice and anybody else that's watching the show, definitely call in, because we definitely want to hear you guys insert intake about it. Take about it as well. Brittany Simone also said, you swing on me once and miss, you won't get a second chance to swing and connect, period. And she also says, today's children laugh out loud. And she also said, private Christian schools getting shot up, though Miss B Love, laugh out loud. And then she also says, y'all are hot tonight. So, but yeah, those are all good comments there. And Brittany Simone, I'm like you, when the little girl with this comment that you made here, once the little girl got to the threshold of the desk area, you in that personal space, you don't get to dictate to me how I'm going to react. You don't get to do that. So I'm leaning on more of the side, like, hey, look, once you come into my space, as a child, you'll come and address me as an adult, then I feel a certain kind of way. I'm feeling threatened, or whatever the case may be. I'm going to definitely do what I have to do to neutralize you and stop you. If that means, and I'm going to keep going until I actually stop you. And where I gave the teacher credit at is when the girl was on the ground, like I said earlier, everybody, she could have definitely did something worse, whatever, but she just kind of kept the girl neutralized and sat there until some help showed up. And like I said, she could have did something worse, but she didn't do that, and I got to get the teacher credit for that. But I'm like I told you guys earlier, I'm thinking I'm more on the side that the student was wrong. And was a teacher excessive? Maybe in her mind, she thought that she was in control and felt the need to, give up, put their hands on her until she neutralized the woman. That's how I saw it. Go ahead, B-Dub. You finna say something.
I said she didn't restrain herself. She pounded on that little girl and then put all her weight on that girl's head. Like, I'm sorry. Listen. So even if let's say she swung on the little girl to get her up out, like y'all gotta understand, we all in agreement up until her hitting the girl the first time. After the first punch is where we go sideways. Because I think after that first punch is where she took it to the next level, and she was screaming at that little girl, talking to that little girl like she was fighting some chick. Like she looked like she was fighting a chick at the club last night that took her man. That's what she looked like. That woman had something in her. She had some aggression already. She was mad about something that she brought to work with her, and she took it out on that little girl.
It almost
we done
seems
seen
that
plenty. We done seen plenty of situations where students deserve that type of ass whooping,
right,
and didn't get it. But that little girl didn't
B-Dub,
deserve
man,
it. I'm sorry.
these kids in these schools, man.
Okay.
Have you ever seen some
Can
Cedar
you
Hill
pull?
and DeSoto ISD? How them fights go inside them schools?
man, DeSoto, it goes down.
Bad, man.
Can
That
you
little girl
can
weighed
you pull
82
that comment?
pounds.
It's bad, man.
Can you pull that comment back up?
Which one? Right there?
Yeah, when Brittany, when you said when you invade someone's personal space, you don't get to decide how they retaliate and defend themselves. You can't determine what's excessive for me. Well, I'm gonna say this. I can't determine what's excessive for you, but the same rules that they had for the cell phone rules, the school also gave you rules as well. So I might not be able to, the little girl might not be able to decide what's excessive, but you know what's excessive. Come on now. Beating that little girl up like that was ridiculous. And that was very excessive. And that's why I say it's it. And you hold on, because I got something for you too. So sit back, put your phone on mute, and let me finish. With that little girl being who she was and doing what she doing, again, I don't have no problem with how that teacher handled it up until that point. But when you are a sub, that's why I was saying you already know what you walking into with these kids. So therefore, if can't nobody tell you how excessive to be,
Hold on. We got Miss Brittany Simone on. Miss Brittany Simone, how are you? Appreciate you for joining the show. Give it up for Brittany Simone, you guys. Oh man, she came on to the show like man. Welcome. How are you, Miss Brittany?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm doing good. How about all y'all?
Oh man, we doing good. Man. We appreciate you for joining. We didn't think you were gonna have the wherewithal to come on over here to put your mind out there or whatever. So we appreciate that a lot.
She said she stand on hers.
Yeah, stand on it. So Brittany, so you saw the show. I mean, you saw the video that went viral, okay? And I'm sure you've been hearing the conversation that we've been having about it because of you've been putting your comments into the section here. Tell us how you saw it. Tell us, how you feel about everything, how you saw it on your end.
Well, like in my perspective, it's coming from because I ain't count y'all age or nothing, but I'm 29. I'm almost 30. So 10 years ago, I was in high school, and now I'm adult. I'm an adult with children. So when I initially saw it, my first thought was she was excessive. The teacher, I was like, she did too much. She did too much. But when I sat back and thought about it, I said that's coming from a place of me being a parent. And I felt sorry for the little girl. But when I really sat back and thought about it, I said the only profession that I really, really can think of where you need to try to use the least possible force, and that's a part of your job description, where you need to use the least force, is if you're in law enforcement. Anything else, healthcare, teachers or whatever, that's not a part of their job description. That's not a part of the instruction that they get, the education that they get. Oh, well, if you're gonna go be a nurse, you gotta prepare to fight somebody. Or even in healthcare, you have where you can restrain a patient. But if that patient swing on me and knock me out, like, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to take it to the state board. That's how I feel, because you don't get to tell me when I feel violated, or when you have invaded my personal space. And I had a personal story. It wasn't at a school, but I was out at a club one weekend, and this girl come out the blue, and she walked up to me. I don't know who she is, from Can of Paint. She grabbed a bottle and she swung at me and missed me. And I'm like, had she hit me, I would have been knocked out. And I beat her ass right on out the club, because you swung a bottle at me. So you're not gonna swing at me again and knock me out. I don't know what you want. We could talk about that later. You might have the wrong person, because I definitely didn't know her, but you got your ass beat that night. And I just feel like with the little girl, I heard, Miss B Love say, okay, well, that's how today's children are. I kind of feel like that's an excuse, because kids today, and I have an 8-year-old myself, kids today, they don't have no fear of authority. They don't have no fear of their parents, and they go and they just act how they want to. And so I hated that she got done how she did, but like I said, we don't get to decide how that lady, felt violated. We don't get to decide that. And yes, like I said, it was excessive, but that's the cards that you're dealt when you decide that you want to swing on somebody. I agree with EQ and Beloved when they said, if I was a teacher, I probably would say, you know what, hey, what, get your phone. I'm not gonna lose my job, but then again, that's what I would have done. We don't get to decide what this lady in the video decided to do. So I see both sides.
Right. Right. Anybody else? Let me give you a 5 number. Give you a round of applause on
Thank
that
you.
one, Brittany.
Now,
Go ahead, beloved.
I agree.
Bougie. Under your, it says, try Jesus, not me.
Yeah.
Right.
Not me.
Right under your goddamn, and then you're gonna say, no, you cannot. She tried the wrong one.
And I'm gonna say this, Brittany, I totally agree with you, but at a point where I kind of disagree. It's all about the profession and all of what the your surroundings and your placement and what you came to do as a professional, regardless if you're a substitute or not. You're coming around an environment where basically anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, and you took the words right out of my mouth when you were talking about other professions where you shouldn't be as aggressive. Well, that's the same thing as saying, to me, it's the same thing as saying, well, when I walk up to a black person and as a white cop and I feel threatened, nobody can tell me not to shoot 12 times. You're a professional. You should know how to condone yourself. That's not an excuse for me that you felt threatened, so now you gonna shoot somebody 12 damn times. That's not an excuse for me. That's it does not matter. It does not matter. It does not matter. And then let me go to you. See, you the person that'll have a whole line of shit lined up, because now, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off if you beat the hell out of my kid, because I'm gonna look at it as being excessive. And so now me and you got the fight. And so therefore, if me and you fight, my cousin gonna be pissed off that me and you fought. So then you gonna have to fight him. And then my other cousin, and then my other cousin might come and he might feel like he want to shoot you. So all of this with my child being disrespectful, because you know how people are.
All of that because you can't control your kid.
I know all of that because my child, because first of all, I ain't ever got to worry about my kids doing that, because and on this situation, I can say what my kids will and won't do, but I'm gonna say this, all of that because it was no self-control in that classroom. period, point blank.
Control your kids.
So if you feel like you can't control yourself, and again, I stand on that. If you feel like you can't control yourself, it's called doing your research before you go and work somewhere. If you already know these kids out of control, if you already know that, well, every kid is not going to do that. So find a class where every kid is medicated, or go work with special need kids. Because every kid,
I bet you she
oh
won't
my God.
Okay, listen, Miss Brittany.
I bet you she will. I bet you she will. That ain't did nothing but add fuel to the fire.
B-Love, G-Man, B-Dub, EQ. Miss Brittany, you got anything else you want to add with with your analysis on how you saw this?
As Bougie Weirdo got under his name, you tried Jesus, not me. That little girl tried a grown woman, and she got her ass beat. Alligator mouth got a hummingbird ass beat. I bet you won't do it again. Y'all have a good night.
Miss Brittany, you got anything you want to add on that, Miss Brittany?
The only other thing I will say is like, and the reason why I mentioned why I have a child, because he have his days, where he show out at school. Even though this is a new set of kids in this generation, I still feel like, and it's a new set of teachers too. It's a new set of kids and it's a new set of teachers. You wouldn't really having kids, even back in my day, I graduated in 2012. We wasn't really having no kids fighting on no teachers. And then especially back in when my mother, was in school, I didn't hear that kind of thing because you had a fear. But it's a place for, children that have behavior issues, because that's not a teacher's job to have to come there and decide, okay, well, I got to teach this class today, but I might have to whoop somebody. That's not what they come there for, number one. And then number two, we can't accept or tolerate that, oh, well, kids just gonna, act a fool or just act bad. They need to be placed in some type of alternative school or something, because the reason why I made the comment, I think, B-Love, you were saying like, okay, well, if you don't want to deal with unruly kids, then, go to like a private school or whatever. Well, that was just, and it wasn't the child actor, but I think 2-3 weeks ago, it was a Christian school that got shot up. So you dealing with different stuff at different schools. It can't be tolerated nowhere. Like, that's not what teachers go to work for, but like I said, if you don't get to, I can't tell none of y'all when y'all feel, that y'all back is up against the wall, or when y'all feel like this is how much I needed to do to defend myself. Some people click out, and she might have clicked out and we don't know. You might click out and you done swung on somebody or hit somebody 10 times before you really realize. But after it happened, you don't get to decide that, because my back was up against the wall and I feel like I needed to defend myself. So,
and I totally agree with what you're saying. You can't, just like with the little girl, when you swung on that lady, you couldn't tell that lady, don't hit me, because no, you most likely, I'm finna do something to restrain you, because now I gotta protect myself. So I can't tell you how to react. But at the same time, the whole issue that I have is conducting yourself and controlling yourself. And it goes back to what happened before somebody pressed play up to that moment. Why was it so much of a control issue? Why couldn't this have been handled different? This lady was pissed the hell off. And you could see it. You could see it. And that's my thing. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to react. But at the same time, the people that hired you told you how you were supposed to react. So therefore, if this is your job and this is what you want to, this is where you want to work, and this is what you love doing, then I advise you to learn how to control yourself. Because what we can't have is you whooping kids up here, and then next thing we know, we trying to come out to our cars to go home, and we got a whole lot of parents up here protesting because we got one sub that her nickname is Miss Whoop Your Ass. We can't. That's something we can't have. So again, I feel like she should have had some type of self-control, and if she felt like it was getting out of hand, because obviously it was, she should have picked up that phone a long time ago and tried to call somebody. You shouldn't, that little girl shouldn't even had enough time to walk behind your desk and do what she did. And again, if you felt like you were getting out of control, it was getting out of control like that, give her phone back. I can't, man, EQ, I'm telling you, I could not agree with you more. Give her stuff back and handle it later. When you calm down, and when you have some type of self-control. Because that wasn't self-control. She lost control on that
She
child.
did.
And that was just too much for me. That was entirely too much. Regardless if she swung first, regardless if she was being disrespectful, I don't care what the case may have been. Because again, when these cops shooting people, when these cops pulling people over, and now you want to search the car, and now you want to do this, it's all about control. And of course, I can't tell you how you need to react or how you should react. But at the same time, you were taught and you were encouraged and you signed paperwork. You took an oath when you had teacher certification. Some subs have to sign contracts or some type of paperwork with rules and regulations on them. So
That's the
if
key
this is
word.
what you decided,
That's
if
the key
this is
word.
what you decided that you were gonna do, then you already know what comes with it. And
Yeah.
that's why consequences are going to be had, because there's no way that lady, I feel like, is going to be able to get away with what she did and not have any consequences behind it, because it was too excessive. You got kids now that will get sent to the office and didn't start a fight. They were defending themselves, but they blacked out, and because they beat the hell out of a student, their consequences were more than what the actual bully was, because it was excessive. The fight, the backlash was too excessive. Oh, she slammed her head too many times against the concrete.
And the thing for me is, and actually, Brittany Small said something, and it made me think about something. She's
Well,
right. Like first,
before you go, we want to say thank you, Brittany Simone, for definitely joining the
Most
show. So
definitely.
yeah,
appreciate you that for your insight. So we thank you for that a whole lot. Go ahead, B Dub. Sorry.
but she said something that I thought was particularly important. Um, this stuff that we're seeing, this is new. Seeing all these students fighting teachers, teachers having sex with students, all of this stuff, and it just takes me back to the point I was making earlier about respect and who's to blame. So we already discussed before. We know that these young, well, I won't put it on the younger parent. I'll just say these newer parents, these new age parents, are not disciplining their kids the way we used to get disciplined, and they're not teaching their kids. So these kids, right off the bat, to B Love's point, are a lot more disrespectful. Does that mean the teachers are supposed to come to school expecting that? Hell no. I'm not saying that the teacher should expect to be disrespected. But like I always say, it is right versus reality. No, it's not right that teachers should have to deal with this. But that's the reality right now. We need to figure out where the breakdown happened. Where did the lack of respect happen? But I go to again, you got teachers sleeping with students. That was an anomaly. If that everybody might have had that one teacher that one time at their school that was a rumor, you don't even know if it's really true or not. Now we have proof. Teachers are sleeping with students all the time. Students are fighting teachers all the time. So clearly there has been a total loss of respect for what's going on inside these schools. And I think the government and the school boards have to take some responsibility too, because this is what happens when you stop teaching kids and you just start teaching to the test. You just want them to pass the test so you can get this funding so you can get your bonus. So nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares about the kids anymore. And the handful of teachers, the good teachers out there, like EQ and my aunties and others that actually give a damn about these kids, have to deal with this. So that's who I feel sorry for, because like I said, this lady, you see it all the time. You see some of these teachers these young guys and these young women, they just want to post on their Instagram that they a teacher or they sub and look at my kids or whatever and do the cool handshakes and all this stuff. But you're not really teaching these kids nothing, and you're acting like a sibling to them. So they're gonna treat you like a sibling. Because if my brother did something to me, I'm gonna get in his face. I ain't gonna care. But if my dad did something to me, I'm be like, Pop, come on, man, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a respect factor there. But if it's somebody that you feel is on your equal, you're gonna handle it however you feel like you need to handle it. So this little girl clearly did not respect this woman. So she handled it however she felt like she wanted to handle it. Now, again, that goes back to her home training. Okay, cool, we get that. Not taking no responsibility away from what she did, but at the end of the day, this is not on the street. Because if this happened in the grocery store, I would have a totally different opinion.
Me too.
Ass.
Beat her ass.
But no, you are a
drag her to where her mama is.
You are a teacher. You're supposed to be setting an example, and you are an adult. I'm sorry. I can't. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just can't see myself letting no child get me to that place. And even if a kid swung on me, I'm a teacher. One of these young boys thinking they hard, thinking they ready, and he take a swing at me. Yeah, I'm gonna defend myself, but I'm gonna defend myself as needed. That girl looked like she weighed by 65 pounds, soaking wet. This woman is 2.5, 3 times the size of this kid. You can't tell me that she couldn't have restrained her. But again, like Beloved said, like EQ said, I'm just thinking about, because I'm thinking from a different level. As soon as you get out your seat, I'm coming from around the desk. What you think you finna do?
Yeah.
And if you want to keep pushing the issue, you know what? You're not even worth my paycheck. Here, take your little ragged ass phone, get your ass out of my classroom. End of discussion. Why is this little girl comfortable enough to even approach this teacher like that? Why is this teacher dumb enough to let this kid come around her desk and get in her space like that? And then why did you have to be so excessive? Like, I'm sorry, I just can't get it out my mind. Like the way she pounded on this little girl. Not the little, and this is why I get conflicted, because I agree with y'all 100%. The little girl was wrong and she should have had some type of repercussions. We don't disagree on that point. But I feel like that woman just went above and beyond. I feel like the way she was talking, her demeanor, she had some outside shit going on personally that she took out on that little girl, and that's why I feel she was wrong. I feel like it was excessive, and I feel like it wasn't about no cell phone. It wasn't about the little girl being disrespectful. It was about whatever was going on in her personal life, and that ain't got nothing to do with my child. That's why, as a parent, if she slammed the little girl on the ground, I'm chilling. If she would have hit her one time to get her out of her space, I'm chilling. But to jump on that little girl, beat her down the way she did, and then put all her weight on that girl's head, no, I'm sorry. You got to see me.
Because that's what a fight is all about. That's a fight. That's what a fight is. A fight is not going to be.
But it's not a fight. It's not a fight.
But that's not a fight in the grocery store.
It's an unruly student. That's the problem. See, we looking at it different. That's not a fight. That is a disrespectful student at your job. A fight is what B. Simone talking about. Somebody randomly come up to you. I done had a situation like that in the club where dude, me and my brother-in-law, we going to go get drinks. And dude just thinking, even though they seen me walking in with my wife, they seen him walking in with his wife, they seen the other guy that was with his wife, they seen us come in together. But then we leave to go to the bar and get drinks. They feel like, okay, we can go swoop over and try to whatever. So we came back. I politely told the dude, she good, bro. Go ahead. He trying to give her, nah, she good. He gonna move my arm out the way. Oh, no. That's a whole nother situation. So what B. Simone talking about what happened to her at the club, that girl deserved it. Whether it was the wrong identity, it don't matter. It ain't her business if she got the wrong person. You just came up on me and swore. You deserve to get your ass beat. This is not that. This is a job. This is a professional setting with a person who's supposed to be the authority who's teaching the kids, not acting like the kids. No, I'm sorry. I just, she was wrong. I'm sorry. She was wrong.
But you guys, well, you know, but this is good conversation, man. I'm glad that we had it. You know, like I said, we all, you know, feel a certain kind of way about it. We agree and we disagree on certain points. So that's how it is. And you know, we're gonna definitely just kind of land our plan right there or whatever, and everybody give out their last remarks. EQ, you want to go ahead and give your last remark out? EQ,
EQ the
P
bunk
Love.
bed.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Go
Dang,
ahead,
y'all,
EQ.
y'all, y'all long-winded as all get out. But
Boy.
here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. Unless you've been in a classroom in these situations, you've had this happen to you, you don't really know how you're gonna react. But my thing of it is always take the high road as the professional. You don't ever want to give these kids the upper hand. And it's hard. Sometimes, yeah, you wanna give in and stoop to their level because sometimes the disrespect is unwarranted, but at the end of the day, you're the adult, you're the professional, you do whatever you can to diffuse the situation. But hey, if it comes to a matter of you defending yourself, by all means do so. But but the thing of it is, when you're angry and mad, some people just go to the extreme, and that's why it's so important to step back, calm yourself down, kick the kid out the room, whatever. And I've been in a situation like this, not where I had a fight. I mean, I almost did several times, but hey, you live to see another day because it is not worth it. These kids, trust me, they're coming from a place of hurt and so many other issues that sometimes you have to be grown enough and wise enough to understand what is the motive behind the disrespect, what is going on, whether even if it's just kids trying to entertain other kids. It's always a motive, but you always stay in the adult place, but if you can. Now, hey, it's a lesson to be learned here on both sides of the coin. So,
Right,
and
most
with
definitely.
that being said, it's my bedtime. I'm tired. I wish y'all a great
Yep.
rest of the week, but I'm gonna get off of here and go take me a shower. And until next week, y'all have a
All right,
good
EQ.
one.
You do
Okay.
that. You have a good one. All
All
right,
right.
now. Be Love, what you got?
I say this, in my opinion, I feel like this could have really been a teachable moment for the teacher and the student both. They both could have learned something about it. I cannot disagree with EQ more. What I felt like, and again, you can't say what you're gonna do in this situation, but I feel like I know I wouldn't have let a child get me to that point. I would have gave her phone back, sent her out of my classroom, and when I was done for that day or was on my break or whatever the case may be, I would have found that child before I left and said, "Let's sit down, let's talk." Now this is where you went wrong, and what is the issue? What is a problem that you have with me? How can I help you be a better you instead of being disrespectful? Because we all know when we had subs, we did the absolute most. Come on now, we didn't do our work like we were supposed to do. Especially if any one of y'all had Miss Green from Course County High School. I can't remember what her name was before then, but she taught English 4. Little short Caucasian lady. And then Miss Edens, we all knew y'all knew not to play with Miss Edens in government. But when they had subs, we did the absolute most. So again, it was all about control at that point. And I stand on what I said. The little girl was totally out of line, but so was the teacher when it came to restraint. She had no self-control. She was totally out of line. And I just feel like that if it was up to me, she would never be able to sub in my district ever again. She wouldn't be. I would make sure that the child got consequences, but as far as staff, no, you because it next time it's probably gonna be worse.
Beat
So
up. You
no.
got my guy.
Mm-mm.
Beat up. Go ahead.
Nah, she's wrong, man. That's it. She's wrong. I don't care. She's wrong.
Well, hey, this is Brandon Cole's podcast, giving you the Cole's moment, giving you the bag moment. Listen, hey man, only thing I can tell you guys out there, whether you're a student or you're a parent, you're a teacher, listen, get some self control. Make sure you get yourself, gather your thoughts together, whatever, man, before you're in that busting the move. So, and then another thing, you know what? Teachers out there, you know what, man, because this is a rough job. So, don't be trying to come to work looking all cute, whatever, and wear some drawers. wear some draws. You never know.
With your
You have to
stinking
put some
self.
things up.
Take a shower.
That's
Don't leave the
ignorant.
club. Don't leave the club and go
Right,
straight to
yeah.
work. Take a shower.
Hey, bitch, she had her club clothes on. She was leaving.
Yes, you was. Right, this is the Brandon Coles podcast. We say thank you guys. I go by the name of Miss Note Our Reaction. We got Bougie Weirdo, Big Love, Gentleman Jamal, Educated Queen. We say thank you guys for tuning into another show, another topic here. Come and see us next Tuesday for episode number 49, and we're going to definitely get busy and funky. I can promise you that. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. We say peace and love. Uh.